I don't know what they feeling, I don't know what they thinking. Bro, my soul's invincible like Mario when he blanket.
YouTube, what's good with y'all? Hopefully you can hear me. It is a little windy. I will speak loudly. I'm at a park because I like this view, and I wanted to give this talk, you know, with that view behind me because I thought it was nice, you know. But today I want to talk to you about. Okay, so first, I guess I just want to talk to you guys, and be honest with you. Because the views on my video on why I quit smoking weed have been going up, and I've been seeing people watching that video, and people tell me that video touched them. But I made that video, and yes, I did quit smoking weed, but I want to say like a year later I started again, you know. Am I proud of that? No, but I'm gonna kind of take you through how I got to that point. So I was going to this church, The Pursuit, you know, still shout out to The Pursuit. They're out. If you're in Seattle and you don't got a church, check out The Pursuit Seattle, or you can go to The Pursuit Northwest in Snohomish. Pursuit Northwest, the whole thing, sorry. There's the Snohomish campus in Seattle. But again, either of those are great churches and great places. There's a lot of great people there. So don't take anything I say about what happened to me there as to reflect on the organization, because God used that place to help me just like he's using it to help many other people in the state of Washington. But anyways, I start going to this church, and like from the first time I went there, you know, it's like this church is in the boonies, you know, so I'm a black kid just going up to the church in the boonies, and obviously it feels uncomfortable for me, and people start to kind of look at me with this face that I've been looked at my whole life with, and it's like you know, they look down upon you, and it's hard to describe to you, but it's something that you can see in their eyes where they just look down upon me, and in their mind I know they're painting this picture of me as being a monster, you know. And for a while, like it used to just break my heart, but eventually my heart became hard to. Well, sorry. Let me lift, dear Heavenly Father, I lift up that man to you in Jesus' name. But I became hard to that feeling, and I started to act as if I was a monster. So if someone wanted to paint me as a monster, I would give them a reason to believe so, right? And that's evil. I was trying to fight evil with evil. And what God has been teaching me is I have to fight evil with love, right? And now I'm going to break down kind of how I started smoking weed. So it's like I'm going to the church, and people are looking at me with this look, but I continue to show up. I continue to show up because Pastor Russell Johnson was preaching messages that I needed to hear, right? And that was what kept me staying there. And then I felt led to join the media team. And the media team was nothing but gracious, kind, and loving to me, right? My boy Dan, my boy Brian, you know what I mean? My boy Josiah, like Scott. You know, Scott wasn't even on the media team, but he was a man of God that really God used to keep me going and to keep me from growing weary. But all those people did amazing things for me, taught me so much, and they loved me genuinely just for who I was. And I'm grateful to you guys for that. But anyway, so I'm serving in the church, and as I'm volunteering doing events, like I get hit up saying that I was invited to like a prayer meeting or whatever, and I'm going through a lot at that time. So
one eternity later.
Okay, so as I was saying, sorry, a lot of people just want to stand next to me as I'm recording. You gotta love it, you know what I mean? But the devil has no authority. Anyways, so I'm volunteering, I'm going to all these events, I'm doing all these things, and I get invited to this prayer meeting, and I'm like, I need prayer, I need to get that group, and I'm trying to not force myself in, you know, and let people get to know me and see my character so that I can get the help that I need too, you know. But I knew that, you know, sometimes you gotta serve to receive. You gotta be a servant to be exalted, right? And not to say that I want to be exalted in that kind of way where I want to be high and mighty. That's not what I mean. But I mean, like, I I needed to serve people, you know, like not needed, but through serving people, God has been able to help me with what I was dealing with, right? So I took that mindset, but I get invited to this thing and I say yes. And you know, it's like 2 weeks ahead and I'm still going to church, still serving, and I see the person that invited me, and it's like when I see them, they have this like shock in their face and they're like, right? And I seen that person 3 times before the event, and that's amazing, like 3 times, like, right? But each time they have this shocked face and they avoid me, and I'm like, that's weird. But again, I'm not gonna worry about that because I'm at church. I'm not here for you, I'm here for Jesus, right? So the day comes, I get ready, you know, I get ready, put my clothes on, did my hair, you know, make sure I'm looking very presentable, and I'm excited, you know, to go to this meeting. And I get to the address and knock on the door. No one answers. Knock on the door again. No one answers. Keep knocking. No one answers. Then I'm like, man, am I here at the wrong time? Do I have the wrong address? So I'm looking on Google Maps, looking at all these different maps to make sure I got the right address. And I'm like, no, this is the right address I was texting. Then I'm like, maybe the time was wrong, so I'm checking the text messages. Nah, I showed up at the right time. And then it's like, it hit me, and I felt God's spirit fall on me, you know, to comfort me. But in that moment, I was not hearing that. You know, I was so mad. I was so mad and hurt. Like, if y'all don't get it yet, I was sent the wrong address, maybe even the wrong time, right? By this person that invited me. And God revealed to me later that He allowed me to see them 3 times before the event because I was the Holy Spirit prompting them to tell me the truth. But that person refused. You know, they wanted to continue in their lie. But after that event, like, I just remember going in my car and bawling my eyes out. Like, I was just so hurt. Like, and I felt so alone at that time and in that season where I'm like, I'm alone. I don't really have that many people to talk to and share things with, and I'm trying to serve in the church and do everything that is being told to me, whether it's through the pastor or through reading the Bible or through my own prayer, and someone does this to me. And it's like, that moment, I was done. And for a while, that whole time I was not smoking weed, I wasn't doing nothing, but that day I was like, I'm smoking because I was so hurt, and it was just consuming my mind so much that I could not handle. And I reverted backwards. I went backwards. Right? God had taken me out of that, and I let pain revert me backwards. I had to hop in the car with it because too many people kept trying to distract and interrupt. Well, let me not say people, right? Because we wrestle against principalities, powers, and wickedness in high places. So, you know, the spiritual wickedness was trying to interrupt as I'm recording and distract, even though I love the background. Like, it's like, bruh, when I get to the park, look, let me just show y'all, okay? I'm filming. You see that little cabana thing right there, right? I'm filming right there. See how there's no one there? No one around, right? But it seems like as soon as I get over there, start filming, start talking to the camera, and I'm getting to a good chunky portion, somebody wants to come stand beside me, have a little casual conversation with another person right next to me as I'm recording. So I was like, all right, bro, you want to keep playing me? I'm still getting this video done. Say less. You know what I mean? That's how I feel. I got my foot up that boy booty hard. I'm talking about the devil.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man? Bro, I'm out, man. That nigga's tripping.
I'm talking about the devil, you know. Anyways, right? So, in that moment, when I said I'm smoking weed, I had hardened my heart. God was trying to comfort me, and I hardened my heart. And from that day, it was just a little hard, right? But over time, situations like that just, you know, kept coming, where it's like people in positions of authority over me were trying to push me down when all I was trying to do was be better, right? And I had let that blind me, right? I had let that blind me from all the wonderful people at this church that spoke life into me, that helped me. You know, my boy Matt Vargas, you know, Emily, Dan, Josiah, like Brian, like all these people I had met, you know, that God used to help me, to teach me something, to even these YouTube videos. Like, without that church, my quality would not be as good as it is right now, because a lot of the things that I'm doing and applying in these new videos, I learned at this church from the media team here, and they invested in me when they didn't have to, right? But again, I let the negative cloud my judgment. So all I was seeing was how many people gave me a bad look, how many people dirtied me, how many people did X, Y, and Z to me, instead of looking at how many people were investing in me, that saw this light in me, that, you know, loved me genuinely for me, you know. And for all of you guys, if you guys are watching this, I apologize, because I did not honor you in the way I should have. And although these type of situations happen to me, that is not an excuse. And I'm telling you guys about the weed because today I'm done smoking weed. I am done. My pastor gave a beautiful sermon today about hardening your heart. And, you know, but even before he gave that sermon, right, the Lord had me in Psalm chapter 17, I believe, or Proverbs 14, sorry. And we're going to do verse 34. Righteousness exalts a nation, but sin is a reproach to any people. A servant who deals wisely has the king's favor, but his wrath falls on the one who acts shamefully. And as I read that that verse, that last one, right, where a servant who deals wisely has the king's favor. And I'm thinking to myself, like, as life has gone, like at this point in life, I started responding to people with the energy they responded at me with. And that's not what God taught me. God taught me to respond to people with love, to overcome hate with love, right? You cannot overcome hate with hate. You can't overcome evil with evil, but love overcomes all. And I could have, you know, let myself stay in this state and choose to continue to ignore God in this part of my life and continue to do my own thing. But what happens when your servant is not dealing wisely, right? The wrath falls on the one who acts shamefully. So God in his grace used my church sermon today at my new the church I attend to now in Henderson, Green Valley Baptist Church, with Pastor Calvin Smith, right? Which is, that man, he preaching that fire. And today, boy, he was preaching that fire. Had my heart like, I was like, all right, Lord, I got you. It was like God used that man to go pop, 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 smacking me all up and down, left, right, you know. But in all those slaps to the face, it reminded me of this word, right? And God was using that in his grace to course correct me before I become the servant who deals shamefully, who acts shamefully. You know, he corrected me. And for any of y'all, like, do not let what someone did to destroy you or hurt you stop you, because that is the enemy. It is not that person. You know, I'm not mad at that person that invited me to the event and gave me the wrong address. I'm not mad at them. I have no ill will or intent towards them, because at the end of the day, they were deceived and they followed that deceit. And me giving into that was what made me become deceived as well. So I wish nothing but love and kindness to that person, and I hope that God is able to soften their heart as he's softening mine, because God has put me in a position right now where I have to love someone who has authority over me, and their every intention is to destroy me. And I know it is very clear. But yet, God tells me to love them. And every time I love them, I can feel a piece of my heart breaking. Every time. But as my heart breaks, it becomes softer. And it's like God is breaking that callus that was trying to form on my heart. And any of you guys watching this, understand that only love wins. And I know it's hard to love. It's hard to love those that don't love you and seek to destroy you. But here's a reality check. You destroy God's heart every day. You sin against God every day. You lie to God every day, whether you know it or you don't. And guess what God gives you? Love. Right? And that's what God had to tell me, right? I mess up in my honoring of God every day, every single day. But God shows me only love and mercy. And how foolish and prideful and disgusting would it be for me to then take that love and say, I'm not giving it because that person hurt me. That's what I was doing. And that is wrong. And if you're doing that crap, you need to switch it. Switch it up, bro. Because there's too many people doing that in this world. And how is it going to change if people only keep giving out what they received? Right? If you only keep giving out what you think someone deserves. I don't care if that person hurt your feelings. I don't care, bro. Because you got what you didn't deserve when Christ died for you. Right? You got what you didn't deserve. So now go out and give people what they don't deserve. If you really love God, if you're really a Christian, go out and love on the people that don't love you. And if you can't do that, don't claim to follow Christ, because you really don't follow him. And I say that with an intensity because that is the intensity it was told to me with. You know, that is how God had to slap me in the face. And now, right, the situation I'm describing where someone's authority is at my job. But guess what? I'm going to fast for the rest of the month while at work because I am weak and I'm not capable of doing that. But you know what? If I fast, I become even weaker. And when I'm in my weakest moment as fasting, then God becomes strong and that light shines. So if you feel like you can't and you're not capable, then you better go on a fast. You better seek God. Because ain't no excuses, bro. One day you will die. One day you will die, just like one day I will die. What happens then? Ain't no reruns. Really think about that, y'all. Love.
Said that you don't got the victory over us now. No.
Yeah. All my life they always looked at me like I was perfect.
Boo-boo. What's up, boo-boo? What's up, boo-boo? What's up, man? You a good boy. You a good boy. You a good boy. You a good boy. You a good boy.